Yeah. Check the charts. It's a bloody scene. Hanks and Pulse chain. You know exactly what I mean. From the peak we plummeted, down 99%. The Bears took control, the funds were all spent. Sacrificed our pulse, we believed in the dream. Now we're holding these bags of soap. It would seem the SEC came knocking. Tried to build a case, said we were a scam. Tried to put us down, richer than the court, fighting for the crown. But we're still strong, yeah. We ain't going away. Through the darkest night, we wait for the day. The Bears are growling, but we hold the line. Pulse chain, pulse X, destined to shine. The bulls are sleeping, but they'll soon awake. For the communities are waiting, for the fortune they will make. Yeah. Buddha has been spreading, fear's been in the air. Whales were exiting, leaving us in despair. Price hit a bottom, some thought we never climbed. For the bear market, a brutal long time. We watched the value dwindle, watched the hope fade. But the core believers, the plans we already made. We staked our tokens, we played the long game. Through the pain and the doubt, we remain the same. The news has been grim, the futures look bleak, but the Hexagon spirit is on the take. But we're still standing, we ain't going away. Through the darkest night, we wait for the day. The Bears are growling, but we hold the line. Explosion, ball set, listen to sign. The fools are sleeping, but they'll soon awake. For the communities are waiting, for the fortunes they were made. A gavel will drop, a victory will see the case undone. Forget the set, a new dawn coming. The clouds will clear, the future's bright. The path is clear, the Bears won't last. It's only a fade, the bull is coming. Through the coming days, the sacrifices made will soon be repaid. When the market turns and the price is relayed. So hold your bags, don't you dare sell low. The next leg up is about to. But we're still standing, we ain't going away. Through the darkest night, you wait for the day. The Bears are growling, but we hold the line. Hex, pulse, chain, pulse, X, destined to shine. The bulls are working, they're starting to flame. For the community to wait, for the fortunes they will make. Yeah. Better believe.
Darker matter.
Now build a bear for your teddy bear picnic. Building a bear to eat when the bull run ballistic. Will he get to a point? Yes, I'm Hex, like Richard Hart's better Bitcoin. Industry of people sent for smart contract decoy. Multi-chain pulse real, no decoy. In my space, coat suit pose like a B-boy. Anti-gravity project, check AGD's coin.
Darker matter.
Fuel cell sacrifice to the decoy. Portal type with extra arms, big boy, decoy. Hungry for potential gains we could make. Some of the brave game on 180 days stay. Or 33, learn the tokenomics promptly. No sleep, we are only countdown to launching. Stuff that jackpot pinata. I want the whole enchilada. We'll see mañana. Block data, sacrifice, mistake, claim. Wait, whichever ever way you play, I wish you great games. This down cycle brought many pains, but props to you if you ain't changed. You are worthy and deserving of charts earning, profit earning, grasp the winds that you're yearning. Start with learning, do not panic, sail in a hurry. The art of walking on a floor that's burning. More lava make the bull run faster. See through false hype and fake influencer chatter. Talking heads drain them while they're dead if you let them. Truth weapon as a lesson, yeah, like Fight Club versus UFC. Don't talk about it, be about it. It's all about the AGP. Sharp wings and ducks. Darker.
Hey kids, this is Pulse Ray Vision coming to you live from Cuatro Cinco Studios in my mom's basement, formerly Hex Ray Vision. I didn't know that a lot of people didn't know I switched from Hex Ray Vision to Pulse Ray Vision until I was on the space the other day. But yeah, it's me. I'm like the artist formerly known as Prince, but I cannot play a guitar to save my life. Anyways, there's some big changes going on right now. Here's the StreamYard link if you guys want to jump in to the AMA, ask any of these questions, see what's going on. There are 3 big changes that have happened recently. We got Red Squirrel in the house checking in on us. What's up, Red Squirrel? I got some really cool information about his NFTs there I can show you guys. And then, of course, ahoy mates, it's a great day to be a member of Space Cult. What's up, HT? Good to see you, as always. Yeah, there's... I'm out of Claude credits. I was actually paying a great deal of money out of, because I didn't want to upgrade. But I by the time I ended up pushing all these to main and committing them to GitHub, it probably would have been cheaper just to upgrade with Claude. But we will get into that just a second. There's a lot of cool changes on the website and a change to the tax, the sales tax. There's also a change to OTCs and links on the page, which I'm going to share with you guys here. Let me know if you guys can hear the air conditioner in the background. If it's too loud, I'll turn down my gain over here. But it has been it's been 86, 90 degrees in this studio because of all the light, and our air conditioner went out again yesterday. I spent most of the day yesterday fixing the capacitors and pretending I was just channeling my inner HT electrician skills, which are very low, and figuring out why the son of a bitch wouldn't run. And I got it working. That's the good news, is we got the air conditioning working because it's been warm. But let's jump into this right now. I put the link to join here in comments right there. I'm going to put it also in our Telegram, t.me/anti-gravity saga. You guys should be able to repeat that back. Every time I say our Telegram, in your head, you should hear t.me/anti-gravity saga, just like the song from Corian Investor. So let's just jump into these boomers and go through this, because there is a lot to go through. And I'll just keep checking the green room to see if anyone pops in. Say hello. There we go. Yeah, check this out, kids. This is pretty cool. Twitteroonies, we got some big candles going on with eHex. Relatively big candles compared to the recent price. Your friend Sami says, never panic sell.
Biggest mistake number 2 for crypto is obviously panic selling. You should never, ever panic sell, ever. Actually, when you want to sell, you probably should be buying. Biggest mistake number 2.
That's good information. That's good tips. What's up, Robert? Robert's reposting all sorts of cool stuff today. At least the least worst of blockchain. Type O negative. Kind of crazy. Pulse Chase outperformed basically everything the last 2 months. Fat Sammy is in the house, and he's still bullish signal flashing on Pulse Bitcoin. Yeah, he's talking about Pulse Bitcoin, and don't fade any project where someone is talking about it weekly and especially daily. Crypto Sloth, I've not seen him for a very long time now. How cool would that be? Hex going back to 50 cents. Look at the chart down there and look at 50-cent Hex. That's absolutely bananas. That's crazy. And good to hear from him, man. I got to reach out and update him on the crazy world that we've created over here on agproject.io. Freedom 7, Hexilerated. That's a really cool image right there. Very cool. Johnny Chaos, everything sucks today except eHex. Good to know. Glad I have a few. And then Dirty Bronco. The biggest Hex holders, the biggest Hex haters have one thing in common. They both check the chart every day. Yes, that's true. Let's check our notifications and see. Yeah, here we are. Here's our, thank you very much, Robert Brooker, for reposting this. Believe in yourself. Appreciate it very much. New post notifications from Richard Hart and Anti-Gravity. What is his thing? IDGAF. I don't give a F what people like or press sell. I will continue to talk about superior security practices, technology, and opportunity. I mentioned Bitcoin, it went down 95%. I mentioned Ethereum, it went down 95%. I mentioned Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX, ProveX. Some of them went down 95%, but not all. I'm the guy that told you that nearly things in crypto tend to have massive drops. Nearly everything in crypto, I think, is what he's saying. Y'all pressing sell, you ain't gonna stop me from saying smart things and bragging about being right. All right, how do you like them apples? Richard Hart, if you're a victim of the cold card Bitcoin wallet hack, of which over 70 million of value are, you probably wish you'd followed my advice. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Well, we had some really good stuff from Wild SJ. She was posting and reposting some cool stuff. Vex the kid in 5 days when the Clarity Act doesn't pass, because all they do is move the nothing burger goalpost further. I'm hoping the market dips. I can spoon up some more cheap stuff on Pulse Chain, living my best life at the bottom prices, throwing handfuls of change and spinning the slots. That's the way to go. That is the way. We got Mr. HT in the house. Welcome, HT. Good to see you. Good to see believe in yourself.
Good day.
Well.
Good day, mate.
Good day. Good day. Are you ready to see some crazy stuff on
yes,
on
but
project?
first, shout out to Crypto Sloth. If you aren't liquidity providing on V3, whether it's 9-inch, whether it's 9mm, or if you're off chain with Pulse Chain derivatives forked over to other EVM chain using Uniswap, you need to go and look at Crypto Sloth's very well layman term, dynamic, energetic. No, not energetic, because it's Crypto Sloth. Anyway, his 9-part series on V3. Watch, rewatch, listen, and learn.
Yeah, if you're not following him, he's under Crypto Sloth 3 on Twitter, or Crypto Sloth 3. He's got his link tree right there, so you can get to his YouTube channel. Which, has he posted anything on YouTube lately? I think this is probably where you can get his course right here. Yeah, look, liquidity providing full playlist right there.
Would you mind pinning that in our socials, if you wouldn't mind? I do it myself, but I'm busy herding goats.
I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in our Telegram. Do you know what our Telegram is by chance, HT?
That would be TME or TM. Is it TM?
T.me.
T.me / Anti-Gravity Saga.
That's right.
Tap in.
Right.
Join the cult.
Yeah. You got 10 free videos here, and you're saying watch and rewatch these videos.
I say watch, rewatch.
Okay, cool.
Let it sink in, rewatch again, listen and learn, and apply.
Yeah.
You can think. You can thank me later.
Yeah, and he's been touching grass and probably taking care of business for the last 11 months here. So to see him back on the Dumpster Fire Twitter, it feels good. I missed him there.
In fact, if you're not putting V3 in a wide range from P-Hex, E-Hex on any DEX that has V3, and you're not taking advantage of that volatility for fees, you're just you don't like to have money. You don't like passive income.
It's good to know. It's good to know. Good alpha, buddy. Big fan. Yeah. Crypto Sloth is he's a great person, just all around as a human being, but he's so smart when it comes to some of these mechanics here. So yeah, shout out.
And he's also a great educator for the masses, because he can break down, which are complex mathematical events that end up creating the ability to arbitrage or to put up V3 positions as a user to benefit from fee generation, which makes all the markets go round. Volatility is the liquidity provider's best friend. And Crypto Sloth, you can tell he's a good educator and a good instructor because he's a lifelong avid learner. Those are the people you want to learn from.
Yeah, I'm wondering what these cool pictures are that he's posted in the last day or two. He's got a guy that is radiating and got glowing next to a giant rock, and then he has a angel with a fetus inside glowing and white rings on one side and kind of goldish brown or wheatons on the other side. And I don't think there's any low-key possible this hex pump is predicting a move on ETH price. So he's talking about the ETH price there, and then hoping that it goes. Then what's he? If the no one's commented on this picture, but that is very interesting. Wonder where he's going with that. That guy ripped. That guy's ripped. That guy definitely eats kale and chicken breasts every day and works out. But yeah, notifications, good stuff. Thanks for Triplet Dad for reposting. Good to see you there. One of the updates has to do with Triplet Dad's OX Bistro going on right now. And yeah, cool. Let's move on to Dr. Doge really quick. So Dr. Doge is dropping all sorts of amazing tokens like Morbius, Nuts, Darker, Indican, Greenwick, and Hex. And of course, Dr. Doge, you get Dr. Doge as well. And they just put together something very interesting here. So here's folding at home. Here's the proteins right here. So if I'm folding proteins and I'm mining those tokens by doing that, look, I'm almost done with this one right here, 12138. We can figure out what that is, but you can also see the visualization of it right here. And this is what the protein looks like as we're folding it and finishing it to simulate medical research here. Look at that. Very cool. But something that's even cooler than these visualizations is this visualization right here, which is the folding planet. He just launched this today. And so if we zoom in, here's Darker Matter. This is our stream wallet right there, 13A number 11. Oh, somewhere. I think we can find it somewhere. Look at this. You can see that the tokens and coins just flood out from Dr. Doge to all the different wallets. And then here's the folding at home that's connected right there, going back and forth. Very, very cool. But it goes so much deeper than this. So here's this one right here. Open on Pulse Chain, copy. Let's kill that and then see if it'll pull it up if I click on it again. Boom. Well, it pulls it up right there, but it is somewhere. One of these right here is our wallet, actually. So let's see. That one is, not sure. Either way, I found it earlier, and maybe I just got to go to all time. We'll go to all time, and then we'll click on our wallet down here. Boom. And it's not pulling us in. Earlier it was pulling us in, but I must be on the wrong thing up here. Show welcome. So this is the cool thing. You can go to the blockchain so you can see all the tokens flying around and all of the mining going on in this planet right here. Very cool. People have their own little continents in the ocean right now. So that's cool. And then if you click on science history, this will show you all the science that's been done from folding at home and Dr. Doge. So that kind of takes you out to like the solar system right there, and you can actually see here's one of the folding, like these are all projects right here that we've completed by using our GPUs. Then if you go to the galaxy view, the galaxy view will show you the whole galaxy of folding at home and the different ecosystems. And you can see the Wix ecosystem. You can see the Nuts ecosystem from Red Squirrel. You can see the Darker Matter ecosystem right here from agproject.io, Hex, Indican, Wrapped Pulse, Morbius, PDI, and what's that one? One is, that's Pulse Guy right there. Here's Top Hat. But yeah, look at that whole universe you can see of tokens and support that we're getting. And then if you want to do the folding at home universe, you zoom even further. This is the folding at home universe. So these are all the people that have been working on science, being good boys, and helping medical research right there. Isn't that beautiful? That's stunning, I think. And you could just check it out from 3D. Absolutely beautiful. And then there's another universe plus, which this one, look at that. This is, I think, the whole history of the universe right there. That's insane. That's how much science has been going on right there. Crazy, huh? Beautiful. Actually, very, very cool. I love I love what he's with Dr. Doge is always working on stuff, trying to make it cool, relevant, and new, and just building his own universe here. So shout out to Dr. Doge. Dr. Doge. Check back here in our comments. We're good with comments. HexT's still hanging out. We've got now for the darker matter news, which is I think pretty big. We updated. Let's first go over the UI update. So now instead of fuel cell farms and instead of farm, we've made it simpler. So if you click how to play, it's mint, stake, get paid. Mint, stake, get paid. And the place they stake their fuel cells in the book is at Station Libre. So if you go here to the stake page, it takes you to Station Libre. And as you can see, it's got an old rickety, crappy version of a space station. And then you have the nice, modern, new stuff that Jill from the book from the asteroid colony came and started paying to upgrade all the equipment for them, for the collective. So that's very well expressed here under there. And then we've simplified the entire layout. So you're not bombarded with 100 different things to do. You've got a back button, info, stake, and cash out. And then on the side, you got links to go over to Mint and get paid if you want to go over there without going back home. So if you click on info right there, this is going to show you the info of each of these rounds. So this will show you round 1 and all the information you need on round 1. It's got the legend right here so you can see what every one of these symbols mean throughout here. And then if you just go back, you can choose another round. If you go back twice, it'll take you back here to info, stake, cash out. If you go to stake, it's very similar to info, but this is just the staking page. So if you want to lock some, like in round 1, we don't have anything that's unstaked. In round 2, we don't have anything that's unstaked. But in round 3, we do have some. We have 222 that are unstaked. So that kind of is an easy way to get in and out of what you want to do, whether you want to view your bags and your fuel cells and see what's going on, or whether you want to stake and unstake. And then, of course, if you want to cash out, this is a new one because it was like deplete, sacrifice, but there was just way too much stuff going on. So now you can just choose info, stake, cash out, click cash out, and it's going to say sell on Squirrel Swap. So you can click on sell on Squirrel Swap. And this is where you can sell your NFTs right here on NFT Nutters platform right there. We'll probably add a couple more, maybe like Harry Labs and some other people as they get their stuff together. Maybe even Pulse Market app, and we'll see what's going on. Squirrels are definitely an interesting group right there. So yeah, so you can, the first way to cash out, which was recommended, is if you sell your NFT without breaking it. The second best thing I would say is if you wanted to sacrifice to the void. Now, obviously, if it's staked, it says unstaked NFTs to sacrifice. So you have to unstake them to sacrifice them, or to, set, or to put them on the NFT marketplace to transfer them. So there's that. But then, like, here's some right here that are not staked. So I can take these right here, choose a few of those, and I can sacrifice those to the void and find out, get a little bit of weight. But now, we don't want to do this in season 1 or season 2 because we don't have a lot of dark accumulated yet inside of these fuel cells. So that's kind of an idea for later. And then the last option, if you guys want to cash out, is deplete. So you can deplete your fuel cells here. And again, you've got to unstake them and the stake to deplete them. So if you unstake them, you can deplete them. You get 90% of the darker inside the wallet. 10% goes back to reward the people that have not depleted and that are hanging on with their diamond hands. So yeah, this is a much simpler thing. We're going to continue to make it simpler. We really don't want people to have to make more than 3 choices per screen. And if we go all the way back here, so we got mint, stake, get paid. We do need a mint today because we have 3 days left and we have 300 darker burning a hole in our pocket. So let's mint 100 of these bad boys into fuel cells and increase our chances of hitting the jackpot. So gas is cheap. It's $3.91 right now. We'll hit sign. It's going to cost us 12 cents to mint 100 of these. And then boom, we got our fireworks. Congratulations. There you go. I think we need to make that toast longer. So we're going to mint, we're going to stake. And so we just come here to the stake page, which used to be Fuel Cell Farms, which is still, it still says that in the address bar, but the Station Libre is more in tune with the book. So we're going to stake. We're going to go to season 3, which are the only ones that we have that are unstaked. And we got 222. So let's stake 40% of those. We understand that we will not get paid, and that if we unstake them, we have to start all over again. So we're going to stake them for 180 days. And that's going to cost us 2 cents, I think 2 cents to check the jackpot claims, to make sure we're not losing a jackpot. Yeah, and then to stake them, staking 40% of 20, which is I think 80. Then we're going to sign this bad boy, and that one is going to be 24 cents to stake those 80 fuel cells. So staking is actually more expensive than minting because staking does several things on chain at the same time. It first of all locks in your time. Second of all, it registers it with the blockchain as going active, and it activates automatically when it hits its 180 days. So it does all 3 of those things on chain. We're not using third parties or anyone else worried about having a point of failure with a subgraph or a vendor. But that's what we're going on right now. So we've minted, we've staked, and then now we want to get paid. So if we want to get paid, we can go to the jackpot, which we're waiting 3 days for the next jackpot. And 78 NFTs are going to win 1,332, the max and mega jackpot. So shout out to all the people that got into round 4 back in round 3. And this also shows you your winners. So if you go down, you can see this one won 3 NFTs right here. Hit this one, and it shows that it staked it too. Crazy. So not only did it win, but after it won and sacrificed, it was staked. And then if you go clear down here, here's the other 2 that won. It shows you the ID of them, which is pretty cool. So you can do that, and then of course you can just collapse it right here at the bottom. Show less, boom. So that shows all 3. It shows how many were claimed, how many were sacrificed, and how many remain unclaimed from those jackpots. 3 unclaimed from round 1, 6 unclaimed from round 2, 4 unclaimed from round 3. So, and my all-time winnings were 999 because I won 3 of the round 1s. I have not won anything since then. I'm hoping, knock on wood, that we can get a winner there. So first way to get paid is jackpot. Second way is to claim EDI. We have $2. We have $3 of EDI just sitting there waiting to be spent. We should just hit claim, and that claim will show up right in our wallet, which right now it's the ZKX wallet that's connected. So you can claim your EDI right there. And $2 in $2 we will have paid out 17,000 EDI in 17,000 EDI cents. Oh my goodness, what was that? The first drawing and the first chance to sacrifice was Oh, come on, where's my Gecko terminal? There it is. Go to Darker Die. Yeah, look at this right here. The first chance people could sacrifice and claim Edai was right around June 23rd, and we're around, August 2nd. So really, in the course of about a month, right? 44 days, a little less than 44 days, we paid out $17,000 in Edai that we've absorbed at sell pressure from this chart. That's insane. Because some of those, during some of that time, there was only 5K of liquidity, 2K of liquidity. Then it went all the way up to almost 50K of liquidity. Now it's coming back down as the price goes down and as people cheat and chase the green candles that they've been waiting 5 years for. And so, yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to bring up to your guys' attention, which I'll get to. I'll put a pin in that right there. Let's go back to Darker Matter. So you can get paid by the jackpot. You can get paid by the Edai. And in about 150 days, some people are going to start getting paid liquid Darker Matter tokens for staking their NFTs for 180 days. That's right. You had to mint. You had to sit through an entire round. And then you had to sit through 180 days. So these ones will not be coming out until New Year's Eve, basically like December 30th, December 31st. So for 150 days, this pile right here of Darker is going to snowball. And then every 11 days, it'll pay 3.69% out to the people that have qualified and are eligible because they showed that they had diamond hands and they locked that stuff away for basically 17. Well, I mean, you have to mint and then sit through a round, and then it's about 16, 17. So really it's about 18 rounds. So almost a whole season, you're basically sacrificing your yield, you're sacrificing your opportunity to sell your NFT, to deplete your NFT, to sacrifice your NFT. You're basically hands off for a whole season, just shy of 6 months. And for that, you get 100x boost against all the other NFTs for the Treasury Guild, which is insane in season 2 and season 3 especially. And then you can come here and you can claim Darker. So it's reading 1,621 right here in this wallet, and it's saying that I would get paid 51.97 Darker if it were to happen today, if this claim were to happen, if this were 150 days were over, right? But some of these are going to mature on that day, and some of these are not going to mature on that day. So I have some, just like you guys, we have some maturing at the end of every 11 days, at the end of every round. But this is another great way to get paid right there. And then there's another way to get paid, which is being one of the net buyers. Here, we'll scroll down and show you guys this real quick. Coming soon, claim your buy bonus. These are the addresses that have a net buy of Darker and that have bought and not sold. And so the number one person sitting for a bonus of 34 Darker when this goes live and the claim button goes live, and all the way down to a 1/10 of a Darker or no Darker. Like these guys have 108 fuel cells. They have 0 net buys and 0 points. So I'm not sure what those ones are, but there's not a lot of competition here for people that are net buyers. Very cool. Very, very cool. Now, the thing I wanted to put a pin in, which I think this is the second. So the first big announcement was this insanely revamped and updated UI, which is going to be simpler, sleeker, and we're going to continue to make it easier to understand and easier to navigate. I have some more ideas that I've got to wait till I get some more Claude credit to do. But here's the other one. We used to have a link here that said buy Darker, and it took you to switch.win, which is a great place to buy from, just like SquirrelSwap.pro is a great place to buy from. But the more I've been watching this and thinking about this, the more serious I've become about community. And if you're in the community, I think you should get the best deal. if you're in our community, if you're part of the Space Cult, if you're part of the Space Fight Club, then you should get the best price on our tokens, and you should get buying and selling. If you sell, you should get a good price for them without pushing the price, without eating slippage. And I think the same thing is true about buying them. Like, you should be able to buy at a discount, because we know that you guys are much more likely to play the game, which is mint, stake, and get paid. Every time someone mints, stakes, and gets paid, the supply gets smaller and smaller. And so we replaced the DEX button with a Bistro, OX Bistro button, which takes you to OX Bistro, where you can look for darker matter for sale over here. You can also sell darker matter on this website. We saw another address that's not part of the team at all sell $1,200 worth of darker last week. So if he would have gone on and dumped those 1,000 darker on the market, he would have pushed the price back down to maybe closer to $1 on himself. And instead he got $1.20, which is still a good discount for the people buying, but he was able to walk without hurting his bags, because I'm assuming that he also had some more darker and he had some more fuel cells, and he's part of the Space Cult, or he or she, I don't know. I say he because this is crypto. We're 99.99% male here and 90% autistic. But either way, I'm just saying, like, here's the 0x Bistro, and I know some of you guys are fans of this other one right here, which is, let me kill this. And it's also listed over on Jolt. If you guys are using the Jolt OTC, you can come over here. You can create an order. In fact, I could show you guys how to do this at some point. I just don't want to do it with this wallet because I'm minting these. But yeah, you hit create order, and then you're going to have to paste the contract address from excuse me, from our web page. So if I copy this right here, I go back to Jolt, and I think the same thing applies on 0x Bistro. And then we hit paste, then there it is, it's custom. So we click custom, and now we're selling darker. Now we can sell darker for 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours a day, 3 days, 7 days, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. So you can choose your time limit up there, and then you can tell them how much you want to sell. So let's say we wanted to sell 100 darker. Right now that's worth about $130, right? So we could say, okay, we'll take 130 EDI, or actually we'll take like 120. So we'll give people a $10 discount if they give us stable coins, because stable coins are easier to spend and move over and use for liquidity. So yeah, we'll give them a deal on that. And then Mr. Pervex, we don't know if we like Mr. Pervex that much, so we might play around over here and say we can even say we want like $240. So you can set your price. You can say what I want to sell, what price I want to sell on. And then let's see what else we got here. Hex, we like Hex. So let's say we'll sell it at even money for Hex. So we come over to Hex, and we say like, and just play with these numbers until it works. So that is about $100. 50,000 Hex is worth $100. So let's bring this up to $114. 122. So we'll give people a good deal on Hex because we like Hex. PulseX is another one that is big here. Whoa, they don't have PulseX here. Whoa, okay, Joel, you guys got to put PulseX on here. People love PulseX. PulseX is better than some of the ones you got listed here. USDC, we'll take $120 of USDC. So we'll give them a discount on USDC because it's just like EDI. And then you got your fee. You add the token if you want to keep going. Then insufficient darker balance. So right here would be approve, where you have to enable it or approve the smart contract to hold on to those tokens for you. And then you would, make the order, and then it would show up just like this one right here, this darker that's good for, oh, here it is, September 1st, 2026. Okay, yeah, so the 1st of September, this one is good for about a month right here. That's pretty cool. And then if anyone else wants to sell on here, this is great. And so is 0x Bistro. 0x Bistro is a little bit different because you have to put the expiry up here. 1 hour, we'll put like 1 month. And then you got to paste darker in here and choose it. And then you would choose which ones. But they take PulseX over on 0x Bistro, which is pretty damn cool. So yeah, you can say, I want to sell this much. I want to accept these different. And like I said, you might want one token much more than the other, so you'll give people a better deal for it. And other ones, like I said, if you like Mr. Pervex, I have no use for it right now. I could be proven horribly wrong in the future on that Mr. Pervex. But for now, like if you want to buy with Pervex, you're probably going to have to pay me more than it's worth, because I'm probably going to have to convert that or figure out if I want to go to Vault 369 and collateralize it for a loan for a stable token, stable coin. There's a lot of things that can go on here. So that is it right there. Number one. Let's check our. Nope. We've got 13 people here on a Sunday, which I'm guessing everyone else is at church. But to the 13 people here and the people on the replay gang tomorrow when you guys are driving to work, or just hanging out at your job trying to find out what's going on here with the 3 big changes. Number 1 change, again, was the UI here for Darker Matter. For agproject.io, go home. You got this cool stake button, which is much easier to navigate your info, your stake, and your cash out. And that's a big deal, I think. And then the second big change is we're going with OTC, because OTC is really the place for the communities to use. I honestly, it blows my mind that more people don't use the OTC with their communities and help save their bags, because who's using the dexes? New people sometimes use the DEX because they're like, oh, I heard about this token, I want to buy some. And there's no buy tax on our token. But mostly JEETs, degens, traders, and arbitrage bots are the only ones worried about liquidity, because they're the only ones that are focused 100% on selling. If someone says, hey, this token doesn't have enough liquidity, 99.99% of the time, it's because they're thinking about selling it before they even buy it. They might claim, oh, well, I don't want to eat the slippage or blah, blah, blah. And they're full of shit, because they just want to know that if this coin hits 100K, they can yank 100K out with a market order and run and JEET out, which is, I get it. Like I look at liquidity too that way. With some of the bags I have and have held for a long time, I think, okay, when this hits this dollar price, I do want to cash out. But it makes more sense. Red Squirrel's been telling us this, and I'm sure that Crypto Sloth would know some really good ways to take profit without hurting the price of the token, because you don't want to sell everything at once, but you do want to sell something without hurting your bags. So OTC. So the 3 changes, UI change, which is pretty dramatic and I think pretty beautiful. The second one is OTC. We're switching our links on the site and our focus to OTC, because that's where the community buys and sells and gets the best price. And the third one is the tax token. I raised the tax from 10% sales tax to 11% sales tax, just because it went with the whole 11-day cycle, 11, 22, 33, 369, Cuatro Cinco. It goes with our whole number thing. So I did bump that up to 11%. I thought about bumping it up to 22 or 33%, but I figured right now we are getting a little bit of payout from that tax. So I think it's better to have more small taxes than a couple big ones. As you can see, we've got $624 or 488 darker that have been wrestled from the sales tax on the bots. And then the minting is basically where most of the EDIs come from. Every time you mint, it sells 5% of that darker into the EDI pool to reward the sacrificers. And let's see here. The staking has gone up. So 69, nice, 0.9 has been staked. And 30% of it, 30.1% is free. However, that's kind of misleading because some of those can't be staked until this round ends and until the next round ends. So as every round ends, we see that get higher and higher and higher to the point where if you're not staked for 180 days, you're going to get much, much lower payouts from that FOMO curve than other people. And again, this FOMO curve is insane because it 5Xs every season. So 1X is a trickle. There's only 48,000 that are paid out in the first 22 rounds. In the next 22 rounds, season 2, there's 240,000. So there's like a 5X right there. And then the 240,000, or just under $250,000, goes to 1.2 million in the third season. So rounds 45 through 66, that is when the names, the words escaping me right now. That's when the lion's share of the FOMO curve gets paid out. And it doesn't get paid out to the market. It doesn't get paid out to liquidity pairs. It gets paid out to the most diamond-handed people that hold the most fuel cell NFTs that are staked. That's who it goes to. So if you're thinking that this might just be what the supply looks like being dumped on the market, you might be right. There might be a lot of people just depleting their fuel cells. But over the next, we have 2 seasons. We have 16 months, basically, to help educate people and show them how to use NFT platforms and how to use OTC. And if we make that the norm in our community, then this will become the most scarce token in the universe by far. And that's before we even reload for a possible another game in the future, which would take your points and your credit and your actions in darker matter into account for that airdrop of that token. And so far it's going pretty well. I mean, again, we've been live for about 4 seasons. So in 3 days, we will have been live for 44 days, not counting, the pre-mint, not meaning mint tokens, but the mint NFTs. So you could mint NFTs for about 20 days before we started the first round. But either way, we are down. We had 32%, 32, almost 33% hit the market. And out of that 32%, 13 is available. And that's mostly in people's wallets sitting there. Only 0.5% is in the liquidity pairs right now, or maybe even less. And again, out of that 58 cents, so 58% of the launch liquid supply was locked. So about 2/3 of it's already been locked. And out of those 2/3, 69.9% of that has been staked long term, mostly for roughly 6 months, which is an eternity in crypto. So yeah, those are the 3 big changes that are going on right now. UI, OTC, tax went up to 11%. Just to stick it to those art bots a little bit harder. And there are several wallets that wake up and find that they have darker matter from the airdrop, and they just cheat. They go to a DEX, they dump it, they pay the tax because they didn't mint fuel cells. They push the price against themselves because they haven't watched these streams. They cannot be bothered to go over to 0xB Store Jolt and put that for sale for a while. And so they just, you're really rewarded for your positive behaviors and actions here, and for your discipline and patience. So go back here and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Oh, still here listening Sunday evening, playing with my MPC server. Damn it. Do I have to build an OTC feature now? You can. However, Squirrel, you are listed on the new UI. So if I go to my UI right here, and let's say that I want to cash out, sell on Squirrel Swap right here. So I can list my NFT over here on NFT Nutters, and I can sell my new NFTs here. Here's the old NFTs from Dark version 1, and we will probably be seeing a bunch of these show up here. The thing is that none of them are worth anything right now. Cash value, their cash value is very low unless they hit the jackpot, right? But even the ones that have hit the jackpot, I haven't seen those up here for sale. So over time, as the cash value grows inside of the NFTs, we'll see them here, which would be pretty dang cool. All right. Oh, HT is back. Hey, what's up, bud?
Hey, just before, in case you're winding down, shout out to Mr. Red Squirrel, SquirrelSwap.pro. If you have a tax exempt wallet, it lets you know that you're tax exempt and you will get a higher amount. So there's a lot of advantages to utilizing community members that are building solid tech to go and patronize their sites.
Yeah. Make sure to tip Squirrel for his random number generator that we use and for the cool stuff he's been building. I also was going to go over his new announcement today that he had the MPC or MCP. I'm still wrapping my head around it, but yeah, this is the place to go. And yeah, I mean, if Squirrel wants to,
well, what people are finding, what people are finding out, and Red Squirrel is always on the forefront, and Execute's doing the same thing. Pulse Chain, even though we don't have the latest ERC standards and whatnot, we don't have maybe this up-to-date latest sync with Ethereum. Still, Pulse Chain does allow creative developers that know how to actually read the blockchain to create your agent to go out and trade and make profitable deals. So he's allowing you, if you have such agent created, he's giving you a interface so that you can earn while you sleep, while your agent is hopefully making profitable trades on arbitrage or just profitable trade swing and ratio trading.
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around the agent thing. I have not used those yet, but I do know it's a big deal, and a lot of people are excited about using that and keep doing trading and liquidity providing. In fact, we were talking about V3 earlier. You were talking about V3 earlier, and I was talking about taking profit with V3. And he was saying that the tax tokens are not on V3s, but there's a workaround that he was explaining to me, which I can't quite wrap my head around, but I know things are being built for that as well. So, Rings of Dust here. That's our audiobook. I've only got a few more chapters left to read on Rings of Dust before we're ready to put it into, open that up for a little bit more review before we go into that one. So here's the playlist right here with 31 videos, probably 35 videos by now that I haven't added. Bitcoin, what are you doing this weekend, Bitcoin? Bitcoin's chilling at 63K. Ethereum is chilling at 1875. Nothing to write home about. Darker matter right here. We've seen the buy bot has been exhausted or has quit and has let people push the price against themselves here. I'm wondering if it's ready to pick it up at a lower price or if it's just going to switch to OTC and start buying stuff on OTC and filling its bags and take tens of thousands. The buy bot's already taken tens of thousands of Darker off the market, believe it or not. That's already done. So that's pretty cool. And if it continues to sweep that off, there's really not a lot left in liquidity for this to become a very, very scarce token. And if you know about OTCs, you could do very well in the future, depending on some of these tokens that are being sold on different dexes. So it's all about scarcity. It's all about supply and demand. Very cool. Again, we've got 3 days till we have our next big jackpot, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then we've got these UFOs that I put up here. This one's at $2.22, $3.33. We'll probably have one at $4.44, $5.55, $6.66, and we'll just see if this follows this pattern of crazy stuff. But remember, as the liquidity drops and more of the volume moves to OTC deals, this chart is going to get very sensitive to buys and sells. So what happens when a handful of people are all getting as much darker matter as they can in their bags? Like literally they're all sweeping it off the market and holding it for mints and for the price to go up and for the game. And then at the same time, liquidity dries up or lessens. So there's still liquidity there you can buy and sell into if you want to. But what if those people have decided that they've taken enough of the token off the market? Let's say they hit 90%, not counting what's in other people's wallets. And so basically it's 100% that's in the hands of community members, very little in the hands of bots and dumpers. What if they, instead of scooping it off the market at cheap prices, they started to buy it off the market? A handful of people just buying it, and there not being any supply to sell, and taxing the bots all the way up at 11%. That could paint a very interesting chart. And at that point, these ideas of $2.22, $3.33, and so on, I don't know. People might not be thinking big enough right now. And when I tell people, here's our W for win. When I tell people they don't have enough darker, I really mean you don't have enough darker, especially with where I see this going and how much has been locked into the game in the first 4 rounds out of 66. Remember, there's 66 rounds of this going on. And it looks like we've hit the bottom of Ethereum and Pulse Chain, and we might be going up, and that's when all hell could break loose. So you don't have enough darker matter, you don't have enough fuel cells, and you don't have enough staked fuel cells. I'll just say that. I would refresh this, but every time it's still refreshing actually. Scan.mypinata.cloud, the IPFS. This son of a bitch never gives me any good information on the fuel cells or on the amount. I usually have to go to Red Squirrel. Remember, tip Red Squirrel. Tell them thank you so much for creating a good RNG and a way for us to look at our portfolios, right? You can actually see the liquidity over there. You can see your NFTs over there. You can see if you're tax exempt over there. And this is the stuff he was showing me on his squirrels right here. So if you go to squirrels, this is actually ranked in how much pulse they've been paid out from the squirrels swap.pro website. So this one has actually been paid 19,000 pulse. This one's been paid 19,000 pulse. And you can search them by legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, common. And you can also search them by the type and if they're for sale or have offers. But there's not a lot of them for sale right now. It's very interesting. They've got a cash value of Wrap Pulse in them from the site. And if you own a rare one, I believe that you don't pay fees on all of the things on Squirrel Swap. So that saves you a bunch of money here on Squirrel Swap. And here's
I just got a couple of comments. Just going back first, I really enjoy the new color scheme, the new gradient color scheme of the UI. It took a little bit getting used to because I really liked actually the greens and whatnot, but switching over to the darker matter AG Project gradient theme, I really enjoy looking at that. I don't forget, boys and girls, It's hard to see, but there's the DGen only section. I highly recommend you go and spend some time on that. If you're vibe coding with Claude and VS Code or whatnot, or even if you're just outside of an IDE, let your agent parse out, scrape data off of that URL. There's little Easter eggs all over the place that you may not catch, but your AI may catch it as something interesting.
Yep. Try to find the DGen only button there.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Let's see. Squirrel Swap. Like I said, here's the liquidity right here. We were at basically 50K when everything was pumping, and then Hex did its little pump, and we're down to 26K liquidity here. Most of it is paired with Gelato. 7K is paired with Gelato, which is a very cool project that I would say I see eye to eye with the founder on, because he also is one of those people that want to see the good guy win. Pink Mistwell's got 4K, almost 4K of liquidity. That's also a very scarce token. Morpheus is at 1.8, 3.7K. Dr. Doge is at 2.5K. Wick is at 2.5K. Neon's at almost 2K. Darker and Nuts is about 1.5K. And Darker and Hex is at $500. Yep's at $500. SolidX is at $500. eDai is at $500. Pulse Bitcoin is at $421. PulseX is down at $317, and so on. So this is dropped dramatically, but it's still there for people that want to swap. You're just going to have to go into very cool tokens in order to swap. You're going to have to route through stuff that nobody in Pulse Chain knows about. Who knows about Nuts, Neon? Actually, Neon's been talked about a little bit by people outside our community. Green Wick, Dr. Doge. I mean, these are Pink Mistwell, Gelato. Not many people are privy to these tokens and these projects. They don't even know this cool shit is being built on Pulse Chain right now. And again, Morbius, the the casino with the voice, which is way too sexy for Pulse Chain. Yeah, and then you got your portfolio. So we can load our portfolio right here. And under your portfolio, it's going to show you not only your tokens, but your LP positions, your DeFi positions, your Hex stakes. If you have Hex stakes, it'll pull up your Hex stakes right there. Your stuff like the DeFi is referring to stuff like Actuator and SwitchX.finance and Dr. Doge. Look at that. It shows us our Dr. Doge payouts. That's pretty damn cool. So there's that. It shows you your NFTs. So here's all the different fuel cell NFTs. We have so many fuel cell NFTs because we used this address when we were testing on mainnet. So I have thousands of fuel cells that were live and do exist somewhere in some version of the game. They just don't have any liquidity tied to them, so they're not worth much. We got the Pulse Bytes from Harry Labs, an Anaglyph Punks. Here, V-Switch, our 404 Monster still there. Our Wishwell, our Wishwell receipt is there from being in the Wishwell a long time ago. Our anti-gravity receipt is there when we were a lead technician. Oh my goodness. Man, that brings back some memories right there. So anyways, yeah, you can check out so much of your stuff here. It's ridiculous how helpful it is to be able to see stuff. He's really put together a lot of the stuff we lost from Debug. And so shout out to Red Squirrel. Again, another reason to tip him and buy him a beer, maybe pay for a little bit of his internet costs. Ooh, nice. I need to switch the new ones in. Do you want the old ones left as V1? I mean, I guess we can. We probably don't have to carry it unless we, in some weird universe where someone starts playing a game with the old ones as a collector's item, then maybe. But yeah, we can drop the V1, do the V2. That's on my very long list of stuff to do. Besides finish the book, is to add art to the new NFTs, because we got a ton of art, and I think we're going to be creating a ton more art based on the revision of the book. So I'm going to need to put that metadata in there. And then also, I mean, we should be able to show people the cash value of Darker inside of them as well, kind of like the Red Squirrel shows the Wrap Pulse cash value inside of them. And that would be really interesting because people could see, hey, this NFT has a literal cash value of like $100 in it, and they're asking 120, but it's going to continue to fill with Darker, so I can buy it, and it's an appreciating asset. That's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Let's see what else is going on. Wrap Pulse is down a bit. Hex is down a bit. This is why we can't have nice things. Is the GD boys. GD boys. I think someone sold like 44 grand of Hex right here when it hit like not even close to a penny. Someone was like, I'd like to take my $44,000 right now. And God bless them. I hope that the $44,000 improves their lives and is a blessing to them and their family. However, if they were able to hold on longer, or even if they had sold OTC on OX Bistro or something like that, they would have gotten a much better price and they would have murdered the chart. But Jeeters are going to jeet, man. Sumpers are going to dump. And so this is what happens. This has $500,000 of liquidity in it, and it still stabbed the chart down. That's bananas, folks. It's absolutely bananas, but that's the PvP trading game right there. I tried checking those suck. Xerox Bistro, we covered that. Nexion Protocol, we have some liquidity paired with Neon, which if we go to Neon right here. In fact, just look at some of these. So we got Dr. Doge is up a little bit. We love our Dr. Doge. Darker Dye, I'm trying to find the nuts. Here's Darker Nuts, which, who doesn't like Darker Nuts? Roasted nuts, if you will. $1.27 over here on this one. I'm trying to find. Here's Nuts and Pulse. Turn your eyes away from the screen if you do not want to see mad gains. This is bananas. This is the Nuts chart against Pulse. It's got 15K of liquidity in it over there. And I'm guessing that a handful of people, or maybe even one person, holds the majority of this token. And they know what they're doing, and they know what they own, and they know what they're building in their universe. That being said, this is just an insane chart against USD, but if you put it against Pulse, this is the chart against Pulse, kids. This is what Nuts is doing to the layer one coin. This defies God. That's absolutely insane. Wick is kind of the same thing. There's Wick and Darker, but we want to go to Wick and let's go to Wick and Pulse. Where's it at? There we go. Green Wick and Wrapped Pulse. Same thing. Look at this against. This is Wick against Pulse. Look at that chart. That chart is obscene. That chart is insane. If you would have traded your Pulse for Wick or Nuts or Neon back in the day, you would be sitting on so much more economic energy. It's not even funny. Even when you do the US dollar here with Wick, it's at all-time highs in the dollar as well. So crazy. So freaking crazy. And then Neon and Pulse, same thing. So Neon is coming out of this giant half pipe right here, breaking out of this resistance from previously. And this is in dollars, obviously. It's going up there. And this one has 26K of liquidity tied with Wrapped Pulse. If we look at it in Wrapped Pulse, that's a much different half pipe. In fact, the half pipe starts at the previous all-time highs, and it like where it was really ugly before, it is not ugly at all. It is looking very strong right there. And I mean, PulseX is the same thing. Where's PulseX and Wrapped Pulse, right? So here's PulseX against Pulse. Like this is an insane amount of strength that it has against Pulse. So that's just something to think about, guys, in the future. Right there. Vault 369, you can use Mr. Pervex here. You can use VPS, VPLS, Vault Pulse. You can use UPLS, and of course Pervex here. And it makes that weird typing sound when you do that. VersaVault is coming soon. Shout out to Triplet Dad. Hope he gets feeling better. I know he's been under the weather, and I feel really bad because I reached out to him and I was like, hey, give me a logo. Hey, there's this thing that you should fix on your site. And then he was like, I almost died. No, he didn't almost die, but he wasn't feeling good for a long time. He was really sick, and I felt really bad for jumping on him and asking for something. Oh, look, there's dark mode right here. Let's see what dark mode. Oh, maybe it's on. Coming soon. Okay, so we have to wait for it to come soon to connect our wallet, play around here. Wix Picks. I mean, the Greenwick, I was just listening to a space from Transient earlier, and him and that whole gang have got so much insanity going on. Execute. John Smith is unfortunately ruins half of the space, usually all of the space. And then Pete, Chad Saylor, he also comes in and just talks over the alpha. It's very, very aggravating, but they're always on there cooking, trenching, and figuring out the best way to use this technology and the AI stuff for what they want. Wix sites, there's all these websites that they built. Oh, this has totally changed. Over 40 community built sites at a glance. Wow. So they've, excuse me, they've broken this down into categories. It used to just be like a page of like 1,000. But right now you've got the 4 featured, which is Arcade Alley, Pepe Wick, the Pepe Wick Arcade, 10 contracts to get Biscuit back, the Endless Gauntlet, and Wallet Signed World Leadership Board or Leaderboard. Cabinet 2 is powering up. I haven't even had a chance to check out Arcade Alley. You've got the Wick World, which is like the Dr. Doge World. You've got Wick Picks, and of course the member area, and then main cooks. You got these guys. You got the Alpha, where you can do the Noxabot, which is a trading bot which is secure behind a hardware wallet. You got Sharks Metamine, Signal Lamb, Pump Gems for the Jeet and you. You got functional tools like Predict, War, Swap Helper, PFP Ring Generator, Legit Website Awards, Alpha Lens, Income and Idea Generator, LOL Tech, which is LFG, Meme Gallery, and Critical Crypto Survey. All a whole bunch of more stuff. Yeah, so boring shit. Here's the boring shit, like the soda tracker, the project status board, AI tool recommendations, and task board. I like they call that boring shit. Other communities. Here's Golden Coins, Kenny Jean Pierre Law. Yeah. EX Eagles 9mm drive-by. Interesting. Here's the Grand Theft Auto 6 that they're working on. Here's the simulator here, Wick World, where we can see, I think you can actually see darker here somewhere, but you can see Squirrel Swap.pro's house. You can see Explorer's house. You can see the 3 Amigos. Who are the 3 Amigos? They got a big old spot right here. 1.88 million Wick. Holy cow. Crazy stuff over here. Morbius, where we like to play music and blackjack and sometimes tip the dealer. I'm not going to do it. I can't get stuck here today. Scan.morbius.io. Also, a lot of really interesting thing about AI code reader, token analyzer, portfolio manager here. In fact, let's go to the portfolio manager today. Where is it? Portfolio. We'll use our wallet right there. Let's connect a wallet. We'll connect our ZKX wallet here. Stream wallet. Boom. Connect. So should those accounts are already tracked. Okay, so here it is, my two wallets. Yeah, this one and mystery box. So let's take this one right here, click down, and this one will show. Oh, look at that. Here's our darker matter, 200 of those at $1.62, which that's nice. It might have bumped recently, but here's our dye, our P dye. Here's our pulse. It's missing the price of a lot of stuff here. Oh, and it's reading all those previous darker versions from the testing on mainnet. So that might be, let's check out, we got DeFi. Let's see if it pulls up our DeFi. Scanning protocols, staking, connections, funding, bridge. Let's see if this pops up. And then of course, we were over here messing around with switchx.finance, where you can buy Switch token, come over here to Switch Fi, you can lock, like you can burn forever. We burned a few dollars over here. So it says that we have burned 1,113, which is cool. We have twice the voting power. And if we go to rewards, we have been paid 2 pennies, which is a fortune in crypto, especially on a $3 investment. So yeah, manage burn. I don't think I could do anything. I think I burned it forever. So I mean, I guess I can burn more of it if I get some more of it. Here we go. So it shows our Switch protocol under DeFi, but it's not showing a couple other things like Squirrel Swap does. Interesting. So with that being said, if you're reusing the images and videos from old NFTs, I can get the ball rolling. Some of them are going to be the same. Some of them are. It's almost like Nuts and Wick have people involved who have been in crypto for a long time and understand how things work. It's almost like that. Good friends to have. It's good to be in those communities and adjacent to those people, because they do understand things at a level other people sometimes don't. So yeah, it's almost like that. Nuts and Wick, those are two. I feel bad for the people that are not watching these streams, the 50 to 100 people watching these streams. There's so many more people watching other streams, which I'm not going to talk down about them. I'm just going to say there's a lot of streams out there that are they're Richard Heart maximalists. They will not talk about anything besides their tokens. Richard Heart tokens, Hex, Pulse, PulseX, Inc, whatever, ProveX. And then there's people that will only talk about shit that they own a ton of, or stuff they're paid to talk about. And unfortunately, there's only a handful of normal people that will literally be open to just about anything and allow people onto their shows. Brandon Davis is one of those people that's open to other projects. Crypto Sloth is open to a lot of those things. Kari Costa, as much as people have been bitching about him, he had his arms wide open to a lot of different things. So he's cool. Crypto Coffee is not afraid of saying another coin's name and giving you his honest opinion about it. So over time, people are going to have to quit being so tribal and be more open to things like Wix and Nuts and so forth. So yeah, that's about it. About ready to wrap up. I am going to end stream with a tutorial for you guys, because I don't think people really understand some of the mechanics that are going on here. And unless they're like Hex T. Armstrong and they've peeked inside the Lore Bible or the Degens Only page, they are still not putting some of the dots together, we'll just say. What do you think about that?
That's real. There's a lot of moving parts, but then you set the ecosystem up where you can be a red and green button pusher. You can manually go the one and strategize 100 different ways to Sunday of how are you going to play. darker matter.
I agree. I
One
couldn't put it
question.
better.
What is
Yes.
our holder list? You have a holder lists.
You mean like the mentor
fuel
list?
cells. I know you were
That's-
hoping to reach out to the community that you have developed with and broke bread with. Are you getting
Yeah.
any new wallet addresses on the darker side? I know there should be
You
at
know,
least
I
two
mean-
new addresses for darker holders on the holder list and for fuel cells.
Yeah, we're trying to track the number of mentors.
I can't hear you.
We're
Your
trying to-
volume's off.
Oh, hang on. No, I'm still going.
Oh. Nope.
See if I can kill this.
And it could just be me. Audience, if I'm the one that can't hear Max, just let him know in the chat.
Yeah, the answer is 90. I'll put it in chat here. There's still only 90 mentors. There you go. So there's 90 mentors right now. That's who we're counting. We want that number to go up to 150. So if you guys are onboarding people that are minting and it's not showing up on under our supplies, then check it out and see what's going on, because it's it may not be there. But right now it says it's stuck at 90, which makes me think it's probably not stuck at 90. I imagine there's a few more people minting from new addresses. So we need to get that address up in one way. But then again, I think I'm going to stream at some point and just play the cool parts of Fight Club on X. And there's that part where the recruits just start showing up to their house, the abandoned house at the soap factory, and they just like kick them out and tell them they're stupid and tell them to go away. And the more crap they give them, the more they want to be part of it. So yeah, I can hear Max fine. I can hear me too. I just not sure, he was breaking up a little bit, so he might have been getting a lower signal on his phone. Other than that, like I said, you guys matter. What you do matters. You're part of the best damn community in crypto and in real life that I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because, we're friends and we're invested in some of the same tokens. I'm saying that because you guys really are badasses and you understand things at a level that very few people do. And hopefully we will all be rewarded for that in the near future, because, I think that we deserve it. I'm missing my bear. I have a bull and a bear that I keep here, 3D printed bull and a bear that I keep printed up here, and I don't know where the hell my bear went. Maybe someone killed him. They got sick of the bear market and they just took him out. Anyways, love you guys. I'm gonna leave here with a little how-to video. Guys, check it out. Shout out to those watching this on Replay Gang, and let me know what you guys think. Come to our Telegram, t.me/anti-gravity saga. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the idea of OTC versus thick liquidity to pay the cheaters? Do you guys like the raised tax on non-community members and the bots? And do you like the AI? Do you think that, I've heard really good things about the AI, and I'm trying to make it as clean and easy and as little mental load as possible on your brains. So let me know what you think about those three big changes. Let me know what you guys think the final mint is going to be for round 5. You guys have 3 days left to put your guess in on Twitter. If you just repost that, you're supposed to hit repost quote and put it on top, but people are replying underneath. So I don't know what to say. Like, the whole point of this is that you retweet and get this information out there and get people's attention. But that being said, we'll play it either way, and maybe the next time I'll be a hard ass and I'll say, no, you've got to retweet this and you've got to show the Telegram, because we need to grow as a community, at least badasses like ourselves. There may only be a handful of badasses out there worthy of joining us, and that's okay. We do need to reach those guys. But I think that if you didn't buy darker matter before off the market, or I think that I think the people that switch over to OTC are going to do really good at good prices to buy and good prices to sell. I'll just leave that there, because the less liquidity on the chart, the easier it is to paint, and you guys might get left behind. Those of you that were not buying off the market when it was at 50K liquidity. So yeah, love you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. What's up, Steve Stash? Good to lose the bear. We don't need that bear no more. We do not need that bear no more. All right, love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer on the Anti-Gravity Project. By tuning in right now, you've made a real choice. You've decided to step out of the dark and actively push back against Alpha Corp's absolute stranglehold on our world. You are officially part of the resistance. And surviving the brutal economy they've built, well, that requires absolute precision and an exact understanding of how our decentralized energy grid actually operates. The fundamental truth of the Rings of Dust universe really boils down to this. Your fuel cell isn't just a token. It's a battery that needs to find the grid's frequency. Serve your time, and the grid provides. As a newly inducted collective member, this absolutely needs to be your daily mantra. Patience isn't just some virtue here. It's literally the mathematical core of your survival and our collective victory. To get you combat ready, here is exactly how we'll map out your step-by-step participation. First, we'll cover the Rings of Dust, then Darker Matter and Scarcity. Next, we hit Round N for assembly, Round N+1 for calibration, and Round N+2 for activation. Finally, we'll wrap up with the 100X superconductor. Section 1. The Rings of Dust and the Manufactured Energy Crisis of 2033. Look, the Darksader's energy shortage we're suffering through right now isn't an accident. Alpha Corp didn't just stumble into this crisis. No, they orchestrated it. They destroyed viable product, suppressed supply, and completely weaponized the shortage to build a shadow government. The gap is artificial, but man, the suffering is very real. This brings us to exactly who you are now. You are collective members. We are a distributed resistance network made up of scientists, volunteers, and defectors, all operating underground nodes. Our mission is singular: to build a totally decentralized energy grid outside of Alpha Corp's institutional control. We're essentially building the world we want right inside the world they corrupted. Section 2, Darker Matter and Scarcity, the immutable law of the universe. The raw resource fueling our entire rebellion is DarkX Plasma, which we convert into a stabilized, usable solid form known as Darker Matter, or DRKR. This is the lifeblood of our new economy. So, the crucial point is the absolute hard cap, 2,222,222 DRKR tokens. That is it. That's the ultimate limit of DRK that will ever exist on this grid. There is zero inflation possible here. No admin key can change it, and no corporate bailout can just magically print more. Every single action you take is working within this strictly finite ecosystem, meaning every piece of darker matter you secure is permanently valuable. To actually harness this power, you use a fuel cell, and the life cycle of every fuel cell is strictly measured in 11-day timeframes that we call rounds. It follows this very rigid 3-phase timeline. First, you have round N, which is assembly. Then round N+1, which is calibration latency. And finally, round N+2, which is live activation. Let's break down exactly what you'll be doing in each phase. Section 3, round N, assembly. Your very first step on the grid. This is the moment you transition from a spectator into an active collective member. The mechanics here are pure and straightforward. Step 1, you expend exactly 1 DRKR token. Step 2, you mint your fuel cell. And step 3, you instantly join the bloodline of that specific minting round. Now, remember, during round N, your fuel cell is officially offline. It's just assembling its internal crystal structures, so it isn't combat ready or generating yield yet. It's simply taking form. Section 4, round N+1, calibration, otherwise known as surviving the thermal soak. This is a forced 11-day latency period. Why? Because the grid strictly requires skin in the game. This soak prevents flash mint gaming and makes sure every collective member is fully committed before they draw power. Let's move to and see how this builds across the different states. The progression across these phases is super clear. In round N, you're offline minting only. In round N+1, you're in the thermal soak, syncing to the grid with that 11-day latency. It's only when you finally cross into round N+2 that your cell becomes live, fully operational, and ready to be staked. But round N+1 isn't just about waiting around, it's also about the day 11 jackpot. At the end of the calibration round, exactly one cell in 740 receives a massive exterior darker matter deposit. The payout floor guarantees 333 DRKR, and that scales all the way up to a 1,332 DRKR cap depending on the pool. If you win, you have a massive choice to make: claim the liquid DRKR, or sacrifice it to the void to permanently stack the pool and earn incredible ongoing weight for the future.
Section 5. Round N+2, Activation. Powering the grid and choosing a path. Your 11-day sync has concluded. The radio static clears, the crystals have formed, and your fuel cell is officially live. Once live, you have 3 distinct paths, and every single choice you make fundamentally impacts the broader resistance network. You can be the loyalist, locking yourself for massive future yield. You can be the void walker, permanently sacrificing your cell to the black hole for external stablecoin yield. Or you can take the deplete path, cashing out your accrued DRKR immediately. Now, what's really fascinating here is the game theory. Collective members aren't adversaries. You are literally heirs to one another. If someone chooses to be a depleter and cash out, they leave behind a 10% quitter tax that flows straight directly to the loyalists. If they become a void walker and sacrifice, they earn EDI forever, sure, but they leave all their accrued DRKR and permanent ghost weight behind for their bloodline. Every single time a weak hand leaves the grid, the surviving collective members inherit their redistributed weight and become exponentially wealthier. It's a brilliant system.
Section 6. The 100X Superconductor, Elsa Klein's ultimate discovery. This right here is the most critical strategic advantage on the grid. This is the true science that AlphaCorp completely failed to comprehend because they were just too greedy to ever stop harvesting. It all comes down to Elsa Klein's final test, Run 369. She definitively proved the zero condition. When a fuel cell is left alone in a sealed, locked environment for exactly 180 days, the interior crystal growth plateau completely vanishes. The data is absolute on this. A 180-day lock creates a 100X superconductor, period. Honestly, you need to completely discard any old, corrupted white paper specs you might have heard about a 55X boost. Forget that. The true, verified science of the grid dictates that the 180-day lock explicitly unleashes a 100X multiplier. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Contrast the unlocked state, with its standard baseline crystal growth, against the 180-day locked state. In its final form, it achieves that massive 100X superconductor growth. And importantly, it triggers the grid to begin making continuous exterior crystal deposits every 11 days, indefinitely. By walking the loyalist path and committing to that 180-day lock, you effectively become the backbone of the resistance. Your treasury weight locks in at that staggering 100X multiplier. You receive liquid pulse dividends every 11 days straight from the bonus pool. And, because you stayed while others inevitably left, you absorb the blood tithes of all depleted and sacrificed cells. The most patient collective members reap massive compounding yields. But time is not a luxury we have forever. The Saturn rupture is imminent. That massive gravitational event that will seal off the outer rings and close the raw dark X harvesting window for a generation, it is approaching fast. AlphaCorp is making their final play, and our grid must be fully powered to survive it. So the only question left for you is this: will you step up, lock your fuel cells, and become a superconductor before time runs out?